Hello my friends, it is Caddy and I am back with a process video for you guys. This process video, or this layout I should say, I created for the Spiegelmom scraps design team. As I had told you guys a bit earlier, a few videos back, I am a member of the design team for Spiegelmom scraps. So this is one of the projects I'm creating for the blog. And I will have a link to the blog below so you guys can check it out. To check out my blog posts, and not only mine but all my teammates or team members blog posts as well, because we post, everybody has a different assigned day of the week, so make sure you check out the blog and I will have that below. And of course check out Jody's shop because she has all these amazing products that I'm going to show you guys here that I'm using. So I am beginning with this cut file. This is from the silhouette. This is just a cut from the silhouette. It was just the arrows, and they're kind of like messy arrows. It's not a straight arrow, even though it looks pretty straight, but it's kind of a messy arrow. And then there are some pieces that were on the interior which I will use later on as well. Basically what I'm doing, I'm going to create a shaker layout. So I'm going to make like little shaker pockets, but on my layout. So as you can see what I'm doing here, I'm taking my white piece of cardstock, which is where it's going to be the front of my layout. I've already cut out my arrows. I took a piece of fun foam and I traced the arrows, and then I'm cutting out the arrows in the fun foam as well. And that is just to so that I can create my little shaker pockets behind it. And then I'm just trimming it down because I had trimmed down that white paper. It was a 12 by 12, and I trimmed it down a bit so that I could add that pink paper in the background. So that I could add that in the background as a border around the whole page. I'm taking some of this vellum. This is an 8.5 by 11 sheet of vellum which I cut down, and it just has white little polka dots on it, and I'm going to use that behind the arrows so that the sequins that I'm putting in will show through behind the arrow, sorry, behind the vellum. So yeah, I wanted to add, I didn't want to add just regular vellum. I really like this polka dot vellum for this specific. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just adding some adhesive. And I am using my Easy Runner Grand, which is the tape roller that that Jody sent me in my design team package, which is awesome. It's really great. I love it. It's so much more lightweight than my ATG, so I'm really enjoying working with that. She does have that in her shop, so you guys can check that out as well. So as you can see, I trimmed around so that I could just have a border. I didn't want to waste that whole paper because it's so pretty, and I'm just cutting around where my arrows are going to go so that they don't show behind my my paper. So here I go. I'm adhering down. I adhere down the vellum already to the back of the arrows, and then I'm adding some more of this tape with my Easy Runner, and I'm going to add the fun foam on it so that I could have that that thick layer, so I could add my sequins in there. So here I go. I'm going to, and I'm just removing a little bit because I added way too much adhesive. And it was getting into my little arrows, so I'm just kind of removing it, is what I'm doing. So there I go. I'm adhering that to my fun foam. So then I have my layer of white cardstock, I have my layer of vellum, and then I have a layer of fun foam. And then since it's not, it's in the fun foam is, I think it's 8.5 by 11, I just added another piece on the side there so that it could, fill the whole page. So this is what the base is going to look like. I was debating for a long time whether I should have the arrows going up or going to the side. I decided to keep them like this to the side. So what I'm doing, I'm picking some of these. These are just homemade enamel dots. I made them from the perler beads that they sell at Michael's. And then what I thought was I'm going to have these homemade enamel dots, and I'm going to actually adhere them down so that they're not part of the shaker element of the page, so they just kind of show through, and they're like in this pinky coral color. So that's what I wanted. That was my idea for this. I just wanted to have some of them stuck down so that they wouldn't shake, because obviously this is a layout and it's not going to be shaken all that much unless you kind of pull it out and shake it. So I wanted some of the elements to just be stuck down That way I could, you know, they could, even when the layout was laying in my album and the sequins were all kind of at the bottom of the arrows, you could still kind of see something peeking through. So that was the purpose of these. So I did adhere them all down using Scotch Quick Dry adhesive in my fine line bottle. Now I'm going to take some of this is Lindy's Stamp Gang. It's a flat Fabio spray and it's in Merci Beaucoup Mint. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to color in these arrows. I was just testing it there to make sure it was the right shade, and it was. So I'm just matching it with my color paper. This is the Crepe Paper Hello Love paper pad. I don't think I mentioned that. That's the paper that I'm going to be using throughout this layout for the little pops of color that I want. So I'm going to paint the mist on. You can dip it into the mist. I just didn't want it to get super wet, that it took forever to dry, so that's why I just kind of took my brush, a really thin brush, and I just painted on the color from the mist. I didn't add any water or anything to it, it was just the color, and just so that it wouldn't get all soaked and super wet. So these dried fairly quickly. I think I left them overnight if I'm not mistaken. I think I came back to it the next day, but they did dry really quickly, so I didn't need to. I just had to leave them overnight because I didn't, or I'm not sure if I did. Did I? I did. This is the next day. So I took this American Crafts gold metallic pen, and you can see I did some faux stitching around the arrows. So I didn't make you guys watch me do that, but I did do that. So so here I go. I'm taking my shaker pockets and I'm adding some of these are the gold garland sequins from the Spiegelmom shop, and then this is the Love Beats mix, and I'm taking some of those, which are really pretty. There's some red hearts in there, some iridescent white pieces, and then I'm taking some of the stars from this Fairy Tale sequin mix. I love these sequin mixes, they're so pretty. So I just added a few in there. I didn't want to, I added quite a bit, and I didn't want to do any more because, it's not really going to be shaken too much. So I didn't want to waste all my sequins on here, but I did use quite a few, and that's why I did mix up a few of the packs or of the sequin mixes. And that's what I love about all these sequin mixes from Jody, that you can use them just as they are because they're gorgeous, or you can mix them up if you want to use, in your color scheme, if you want to use several different packs, you can use it and mix them up and mix and match, and it's a lot of fun. So here I go. I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to do this. So I just kind of leave it facing down just like you see there, and then I just glue it on, and it wasn't perfectly straight. So thankfully it came, or no, I don't think I had glued it down. I think I just kind of flipped it over very carefully. And then now I'm gonna adhere it. Yeah, I just put the arrows over it, and then I kind of held it and flipped it over so that the sequins wouldn't fall out. So here I go. I'm just adhering it down finally. So that's what I'm doing right now, and you can see it's a fun little shaker layout. So here are my 3 photos. There are 3 photos of my adorable little niece, and these photos were actually taken in January. They were taken on my son's birthday, my younger son. We celebrated his birthday here at home. We cut a cake and sang him happy birthday, and of course my niece came over. Well, my sister-in-law came over and brought my niece and nephew. and I was just, I'm always taking pictures of her because she makes the cutest faces and does the cutest things. So I really enjoy taking pictures of her. She's just the cutest, and she's popping up her little foot, and then she's just so cute. So I really like taking pictures of her. So I am taking some more of this mist. This is the same Lindy Stamp Gang mist in the Merci Beaucoup Mint, and I am doing some really thin splatters. The way to achieve really thin splatters, really small splatters, is to use a really thin brush and then kind of use it just like this, kind of tapping your brush over your page, and you get that effect of really light splatters, sort of little sprinkles. So I am going to do some of the packaging technique as well to add some color to that background. So here I go adding some color. I will realize after I've added it that I need to add some more because you know, basically my photos are going to cover up everything that I've done. So I will have to add some more to that. So at this point I'm just looking through my same paper pad, the Hello Love by Crepe Paper. This is the same one I use, the same pad I used to use the background on my photo. And I take this this paper, which is really pretty. It's sort of like if you take a brush and draw lines, you know, just draw like a row of lines, is what it looks like to me. I don't know, but it's really pretty. So I matted my photos on dark gray, and then I'm matting it on this really pretty paper. So it's really different and pretty. Really like that. So I'm gonna do that, and then I want something else to mat it on as well. So I take this, which is sort of like a cork wood grain paper, and I really like that as well. And since I'm gonna be bringing in some cork elements to the page, I thought it was just perfect. So there I go. I'm just doing a really thin matting of the photo with that paper, with that sort of cork paper. So I really like how that turned out in the end. It adds sort of another neutral element to the page that is going to go really well with all of the other elements that I think goes really well with the other elements that I add to the page. So here I go. I realized, okay, I just covered up pretty much everything I did. So I'm just kind of marking with this Jelly Roll pen where my photos kind of end, so that I could add a little bit of my mist, you know, outside of that, so that it will actually show through. So I do just add some more of that, and that's the same color, the Lindy Stamp Gang in Mercy Beaucoup Mint, and I love this color. It's so pretty. So there are my arrows, the ones that I colored a little earlier, and I am going to adhere them down in the inside of the arrows that are cut onto the paper. They are a bit smaller. Again, they're not straight arrows. They're kind of wonky or wobbly arrows, so they're not perfect arrows, but I really like how they look. And they are slightly smaller, so they fit nicely into the arrows that are on my page. And since I did do the faux stitching, it adds an extra touch to the arrow, or to that area. So here I go, again, just using my Scotch Quick Dry adhesive in my fine line bottle. I'm gonna take my Heidi Swapp Color Shine in gold, and I'm gonna do some thin splatters with that as well. That's what I'm doing right now, just to add a little bit more sparkle and shine, because you can never have enough sparkle and shine, right? So that's what I'm doing right now. And then I'm going to start kind of placing my photos and deciding how I'm going to embellish my page. So I take these doilies. These are from the Spiegelmom Scraps shop, and I cut one of the doilies in half, and I wanted to use my twine. This is just American Crafts pink twine that I'm using, and I wanted to use it on the doily somehow. So I'm gonna thread it through the edge of the doily. So the center of the doily is a circle, and the outer edge of that I'm gonna thread the doily through. So there you go. I didn't make you guys watch me do that, but I did that to both sides, and then I placed one at the top there on the right and one at the bottom on the left of the photos. You also see some of the chunky cork hearts on my page, so I'm gonna add a few of those as well. And just looking through the embellishments, trying to see what to use. Now, if you guys are going to make a purchase at Jody's shop, make sure you guys use the code KATTY15, so KATTY 15, for 15% off your purchase. So make sure you guys use that code so you can get a nice little discount there from Jody. So yeah, and I will have the link to Jody below so you guys can check out her shop. And if you have any questions or anything, let me know, please. And if you have any trouble getting there, I'll direct you in the right, or send you in the right direction. So I really liked this XOXO, and I wanted to cut it out, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start cutting it out, and again, I'm not gonna make you guys watch me fussy cut the XOXO, so I will fast forward, but I do cut it out, and I do also hole punch the center of the O's so that the white shows through. So I really like how that turned out. So I'm kind of liking how everything is looking, so I'm gonna start adhering things down. I like the position that my photos are in, and I like how they look, so I'm gonna start adhering everything. And then just gonna add my little sort of or decide where I want my little cluster of embellishments. And then I thought the XOXO, I thought about putting the other XO in the under that arrow right there, but I didn't like that. I really like how it looked on the top, so that's what I'm gonna do. And I'm just kind of committing to certain things on the page that I already know that I like, so, and then I'll go back and see what else I want to add. So there's that little tab which I will add as well, and then I take some of this teal twine, which is from Michaels, so I'm gonna add some of that as well. And then that Fantabulous, which actually ends up being my title, is going to be, is not going to be, but it is from the Chamel, I believe it's the True Stories wood veneer pack. So that's where that comes from. That's also in Jody's shop. So I'm just adding some twine in a couple of places on the layout. I'm gonna see, I will move things around. Then I take these resin flowers. These are from Basic Gray. They're from the Grand Bazaar collection. And then these other flowers, which are the light pink ones, are from that Heidi Grace, it's a fabric floral pack. I've had that forever. I got that at Big Lots a long time ago. So I do layer the resin flowers over the other flowers, the fabric flowers. So I make a little cluster, and then I add a heart as well. So just to make a little cluster on my page in different areas. And I thought about using the bigger flowers, but I didn't like how that looked, so I was happy with how these looked. So I decided to keep those. And then I'm going to start adhering them because I was happy with how they looked. And I love those resin flowers, they're so pretty. So I'm just, again, just committing to certain things. So that's what I'm doing, getting my flowers down, getting my hearts down. Those are the chunky hearts from the store, from Jody's store. I really wanted to use those clothespins that you guys see up there to my right, but I didn't get to use them, not on this layout. But I will use them very soon. I can guarantee you that. They're so cute. Oh yeah, I am just getting some of those little strips. The good thing about that tape from that tape runner, the Easy Grand runner, is that the actual tape strip is little tiny strips of tape. So you can kind of take the little pieces like I'm doing here and kind of, you know, move them so you can get little strips of tape. You know, separate the little strips of tape if you have kind of smaller items like that. So it's really, really cool. Really like that. So I'm taking some of these sequins. I don't end up leaving these. They weren't the right shade of pink, so I didn't add those. I'm taking some of these puffy hearts. These are from Walmart. And I was just talking to my friend Laura the other day about these. So yeah, Laura, these are the puffy stickers that we discussed from Walmart, because she has those as well. They're so cute, and I just added those in a few different spots. So yeah, basically I'm just kind of putting the finishing touches on. I take some of this foam mounting tape, and I'm just going to add a strip behind that wood veneer. And I'm gonna pop that up, and I added some of the puffy hearts to that, and that does end up being my title. So because she is fantabulous, she's so cute. And then I take some color shine. I wanted to do some more sprinkles with the color shine, So I'm going to cover up my photos, and I'm going to cover up the arrows because I didn't want too much of that color shine getting onto the vellum. So I'm going to just take my color shine with my brush, and I'm going to do little splatters. If I wanted really thick splatters, I would just use the nozzle from the actual bottle itself, like the tip. But since I wanted, you know, medium splatters, I guess, I used my brush, and then I just, instead of kind of tapping it on, I just kind of I don't know what you call it, but I just kind of you know, I don't know how to describe it, but you guys saw what I did. I didn't tap it, I just kind of, I don't know. But yeah, anyway. So I took some of these are the gold garland sequins, and I'm gonna use those just in some of the clusters, and that's just to add a little pop of shine. So I'm gonna add that in the clusters on the layout as well. So, and then I'm just using some adhesive to adhere down the twine behind the photos, and that is it. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Make sure you check out the blog post. The link will be below, so you guys can check out links to all the products. If you have any questions, please let me know, and I will see you guys very, very soon with another video. I hope you guys are having a great week. Bye bye.